Hi guys, and welcome to World of Tanks Review. Today I'm be reviewing the ARL 44, which is a tier 6 heavy tank in the French line. And this tank is okay. Compared to the KV-1S, it has its pros and cons. There's a lot of things you gotta be leery about in this tank. As a matter of fact, before we get into the pros and cons, let's go ahead and take a look at the tech tree to show you how to get there. Of course, you start off with the FT, and you go to the D1 to D2 to the B1. Now, the B1 is a long grind, and so is the BDR. Now, this, in my opinion, I haven't gone that far down the French heavy line tank yet. I have the AMX M4445 research, I just haven't got it yet. But I do have the ARL. I begin to see the tank perform in this tank line actually getting better as each tank goes along. So hopefully that's where it will end up. If you continue down the line, you end up at the AMX 50B. So let's go back to the garage here. Now, I do want to talk about the pros and cons of this tank. The pros for this tank: the 90mm DCA 45 has the highest penetration rate of all the tier 6 and makes the tank capable of damaging tier 8 heavy from the front. The 105mm cannon 13TR boosts one of the highest damage per minute in a tier 6 range, with high alpha damage and good rate of fire and good penetration for a tier 6. The 105 premium rounds increase damage by 30 compared to the normal AP round, and remarkable kill, even better DPM. Top speed across most terrain, capable of good acceleration and power to weight ratio. Exposed tracks can be used to soak damage against inexperienced players. Surprisingly thick and well sloped upper glaciers and cupola with very low glacier makes the hull quite well protected. A good gun depression at -10 degrees. Heavy and fast enough to deal with significant damage while ramming other tanks in this tier. Despite the hitbox tracks, the only gun that can really damage needs to be at least 90mm or higher most of the time. The tank deserves respect, given a 105 can eat a KV-1S in 4 shots. Most all modules carried over, making the only horrible grind in the French tank line. When fully upgraded, it can dance with tier 7 and tier 8 tanks and deal severe damage. Now the cons: unsloping turret, unsloping front turret armor with weak sides and rear armor. Turret checks and sides can overmatch by a 90mm gun. Excuse me, guys. 90mm gun or higher. Weak sides and weak rear hull armor. Horrible gun disposition when doing anything other than standing still. Horrible long aim time for the 90mm and 105. Excuse me again. Exposed tracks are disabled regularly and have a hitbox behind them, which allows penetration hits to the tracks and the front of the damage to the tank. Below hull traverse speed, especially on soft terrain. Poor camouflage rating. Huge size makes it easy to hit and difficult to hide. Poor view range for this tier. Absolutely amazing stock grind. I mean, it takes you forever to go through this grind, but once you get there and you get to the top, it actually does start performing a lot better. Flanks can be penetrated by the AP round of. So that's the pros and cons. Let's take a look at the specs on this tank, and I'll blow them up for you. Okay, this does have 820 hit points, 750 horsepower. Top speed on this is 37 kilometers per hour. Traverse speed 20 degrees per second, so it's not that good of a traverse speed. Hull armor is 120, which the front is good, but then you got 50 and 50 on the sides and rears, so that's not too good. The hull turn has 110, which is still halfway decent, but the sides only have 30 and 30, so you got very little armor there. We'll go over the gun afterwards. 22 degrees per second for the traverse speed on the turret. View range on this is not the greatest at 330 meters, and the signal range is normal, 750 meters overall. So the best part of this tank is head on. If you can hit, because of this slope of this angle of the tank, you receive a lot of ricochet shots. If you want to try to protect this area right here and this area right here, these two sides, this can cause you damage to your tank if they track you and stuff like that, so you gotta be leery of that. So basically, if you can, try to be head on to your enemy if possible. Try not to angle this tank, because once you angle, you expose the sides. Now, if you're up against an inexperienced player, they might not see that sticking there, and they would know that they'll try to hit you there instead of hitting you here. But you want to get this side, these protected. Side on this tank, both the turret and this hull is very up and straight, so any shots in the turret is bad. About the only best part is right here. It has some it has some rounding, so you just gotta be leery of protecting this tank very, very much. Let's take a look at the gun. I'll blow that up for you. Okay, this is a 90 caliber gun. Excuse me for a second, guys. Sorry. It's a 90 caliber gun. Rate of fire on this is 6 rounds per minute. Average penetration on this is actually pretty decent at 212, 259, and 45. Average damage on this is 240, 240, and 320. The gun is somewhat accurate at .38 at 100 meters. Aiming time on this gun sucks at .34 seconds. The rounds that you can carry on this is AP, APCR, and high explosives. So that's the tank. It does come with a crew of 5. So you have all your men on here. Now, the information I found out about this tank and the way I set this tank up was from World of Tanks Wikipedia, and at the bottom they give you suggestions, and I do carry the gun rammer, which gives me a 10% more loading speed, and you definitely want the gun lane drive, especially with that aiming of over 3 seconds. So this actually lowers it down by 10%. And vents is always very helpful because it gives you a +5 to your cruise, so that will help your cruise overall and actually hopefully help run this crew a lot better. I'm only going down this so I can get to the AMX line. I might keep this tank overall because this tank, it played right and played head to head against KV-1S, this tank will win, because you can actually, in 4 shots, if you know where to hit the KV-1S, you can take that KV-1S in 4 shots. And if you got him straight on, it's going to be hard for him to do much damage to you. Now, if you angle it and he knows where to hit you, right here or right here, he can take you out also. But ABKB1S, I've gone head to head. I've always taken out before they got me out. So that's one of the advantages of this tank. So I do have this tank in action. So let's go to the clip. I'll see you all on the other side. Hi guys, and welcome to World of Tanks Replays. I'm Buddy 1927. Today I'm in my Tier 6 ARL 44 heavy French tank. Map we are on is Sand Rivers. We have a 54% chance of winning according to XVM, and we're going to see what this tank can do. Now this tank, it took a while for me to grind to get the first AMX of the Tier 7 AMX, and you know, this tank is a little awkward, especially the way the track is designed with the front sticking out and stuff like that. So you gotta kind of play this a little differently than most other tanks. You gotta learn how to protect your armor, because this does not have much in armor. But the only thing going for this tank is actually somewhat maneuverable. This does have a good gun depression on it. I think it's a negative 10 degrees, so that's not too bad. Has good acceleration, but overall, who knows. Now, what I'm trying to do is see if I can sneak around NACA. And he's out of line of sight. Let's see if I can get another tank. There's one. Actually, on this gun, really isn't that good. Finally get hit and somebody takes the kill. Take a blind shot, hopefully did some damage. They're already on the cap, and hopefully Tiger 1 can at least reset the cap. Already still firing shots. I got this little M5 A1 Stewart in the way. I'm going to try to take a shot, and I was still moving, and I went up over a ridge and missed him by a mile. Hit him, set him on fire. Hit him again. Hitting a T-29, which is a Tier 8 tank, and took him out. Still have Artie splashing damage, trying to splash some damage. Hit the Tiger 1. A bounce off of me. Hit the Tiger again. Tiger shoots and misses. And took the Tiger out. So far this tank is taking out a Tier 8 tank and a Tier 7 tank. Let's see if I can at least shoot. Not even close. And he's taken out. Score is 13-6. It looks like we've got 2 Arties left on the other team. 1 already left. So you got 1 tank to kill, and that would be game. And there's the tank. There's the kill. Okay guys, that definitely was a victory. Now, I know this wasn't the best clip for a replay, but I just basically want to show you all what this tank can do. Took out a tier 7, took out a tier 8 tank. So from there, according to XVM, I did get my tanker second class. According to XVM, I fired a total of 13 times with 8 direct hits for 61.54 hit ratio. Take a look at the team score real quick. I did come in second with 1,975. The IS got 2,028 with 3 kills, so that's not too bad. Let's take a look at the overall stats. And again, fired 13 times, 8 direct hit, 8 penetrations for 1,975. 500 of it was over 300 meters. I received a total of 3 hits, 2 direct hits, and 1 non-penetration. Armor block was 240. I damaged 4 tanks and killed 2. I did receive a good chunk of change at 28,352 overall after ammunition and repairs, and it was ×2, so I earned 2,732, and my crew acceleration is checked off, so all that experience went to my crew to help grind them up. So that's the ARL 44. It is a good tank. Once you learn how to protect it and do it, it does do a lot of damage overall. It's just a matter of trying to figure out that damage. Figuring out, once you get to the top gun, it does do a lot of damage, and trying to figure out how to protect the tank and fire at the same time. Overall, it's not the worst tier 6 tank. It's not the best tier 6 tank. It can take a KV-1S out on a one-on-one. I've gone up several times head-to-head against KV-1Ss, and in 4 shots I've actually took them out. Now, I did receive a lot of damage, but one thing about this tank, if you hit him in the right spot, you can take him out easily. If you hit him in the wrong spot, this tank does have some good angles on it, and it does receive a lot of ricochet shots. So, if you like this video, please like us on YouTube. If you got any comments, leave your comments down below on my YouTube page. And if you haven't done yet, subscribe to my channel. That way you know when the latest videos I do comes out. Thank you for watching, and save some tanks on the battlefield for me. You all have a good day.